thing. You cannot, if you feel like you are not fully a man right now, not in the full expression of your masculinity, then achieving that, it's not actually something that you can achieve.
Right, exactly, because that would be the old dominator kind of paradigm of going.
It's not something that you can achieve through an act of will by trying. There are certain inputs that are required for somebody to mature into a man. And really a lot of what I'm talking about here, about masculinity, about the mature masculinity, about being a man, is not in contrast to being a woman,
right,
or femininity. Really, the bigger crisis right now, I mean, large as that relationship is, and important as it is to heal that relationship between the masculine and the feminine, maybe even more important is simply the contrast between boy and man.
Yeah, exactly.
And the psychic food and the experiential food that we need in order to become men as separate from boys, as distinct from boys, is really not easily available in this culture, which is why many of us will have had the experience of being 18, 25, 35 even, with this sneaking suspicion that I'm not a man. My body is a man's body, have a man's job or whatever, but I feel like a boy playing grown up. And that is because, for one thing, we lack models of real mature manhood in its full expression.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make this too black and white a case, all right? Like, but you know, there are many men who beautifully express certain aspects of masculinity, but culturally we've been truncated in many ways.
Yeah.
So the second thing that we need besides models is we need various initiations. And I'm not talking necessarily about, you know, indigenous initiation ceremonies, coming of age ceremonies. Those are very much to mark the completion of an initiation. The initiation itself is like a real initiation requires that you come face to face with your limitations and be put in a situation where, in a sense, you're on your own. You can't get help from mommy and daddy. You have to become yourself.
Right.
This situation is studiously avoided in modern education, where it's all about training people to seek answers and help from authority. So we have, you know, each generation more than the last of delicate snowflakes who really haven't received the initiation into adulthood, into independency. So, you know, so yeah, like in this context, if you sense a unfulfilled blossoming of yourself as, and I'm speaking to men here, but similar things apply to women. If you feel in yourself an unfulfilled blossoming of who you are as a man, then first, don't blame yourself and beat up on yourself for it. And second, don't think that this is something you can achieve by trying harder. Right. What's important is your recognition of your readiness to receive this initiation, which may be administered by life itself, not consciously administered by any human being, but the uninitiated man will naturally seek out situations that force him to rely on his resources and force him to grow up. And at the same time, will be afraid of those situations. but maybe something unconscious will push you to take risks, to seek out adventure, to travel. Maybe it might be to travel, to stand outside your safety zone, outside of dependency on somebody else. I was recently heard a story about some wilderness skills teacher or something like that, who's so all these young, like all these boys go to him, and go to these programs, and they're doing something, maybe they're chopping firewood or something like that. And one of them, the axe head falls off the axe handle. So what does the kid do? Of course, he goes straight to teacher. Hey, the head fell off the handle, with the expectation that here's a problem, an unknown. So my first instinct is to go to daddy.
Right.
And that's fine if you're 2, okay? But what this teacher said is not my problem.
Yeah, we're in the wilderness here. What are you going to do now?
Yeah, what are you going to do about it? Why do you think it's my problem?
Right.
It's not like I couldn't do anything about it, but why is this my problem?
Yeah.
And he was pointing to this reflex that a lot of us have, when we are so conditioned and dependent on. I mean, this is what makes society so susceptible to totalitarian and fascistic manipulation. Like when we're conditioned to look to authority to solve our problems, then all that has to happen is a problem is presented to us, and we all of a sudden look to authority to tell us what to do. So this is this recovery of masculinity, and really I'm talking also really just also about adulthood. This is essential to having like a truly democratic and free society.
Yeah.
If we don't heal on this level, then no political tweak is going to reverse the course of totalitarianism.
Right.